Hi Cancer, it's Trishna here. Welcome to your August 2019 reading. Before we get into the reading, I just want to let you know that if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, then I'm going to have a video out by the end of this week after all of these astrology sign videos are out. That's going to talk a little bit about how we can work together and how the process works and all that. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out. So now getting into your August 2019 reading, what I'm feeling for you is I feel like you are telling yourself that everything's okay and that you believe things are going to go well for you, but deep down you don't actually believe that. So at the beginning of July, I had a video out for Cancers where we talked a little bit about how you're really excited about this stream in your life, but you had this fear of disappointment, and I was telling you that the cost of disappointment isn't worth worrying about, because if you end up getting disappointed, you're going to be sad for like a few days, a couple weeks, and then you're going to move on and you're going to go pursue your dreams again anyways. So why worry about this fear of disappointment? You might as well just believe wholeheartedly in what you're trying to achieve. And just so you know that I felt that you were going to achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve. So now I feel like you've kind of moved on from that to where you're almost pretending like the disappointment isn't actually there. And, you know, it's almost like you're gritting your teeth being like, I'm happy, I'm really happy. But you're gritting your teeth. There's a lot of stress there. You're kind of bottling down or pushing down the feelings of disappointment because you want to believe, but at the same time you don't believe. And so there's a little bit of this back and forth going on within you, and I think that it's causing this internal stress. And I actually feel like by the end of August, I feel like you're actually going to be feeling pretty good, but on the way to the end of August, you're going to have this dip in your emotions, and that's because this disparity between I'm happy, I am, but deep down really not feeling like you're happy, you're feeling like you're going to get what you want. That disparity is causing this emotional jumble, and that's going to cause this slump for you in the middle of August before you get back to feeling good about things. And I think that the slump that you're going to have is going to cause you to have all of these different thoughts about how, like, you know, why did I even try to achieve this goal? I was just setting myself up for failure or disappointment, or I'll never get what I want, or I'll never, now is not the right time apparently, or I'm not meant for the things that I want, or I'm not good enough in some way. Like, you're going to have a lot of these thoughts because of this disparity between, what you want to believe and what you want to feel and how you actually feel. And I feel like this sounds like it's a little bit of a bad thing, but really I see it as a very positive thing, because now that you know that you have this disparity, when you have this slump and you start having all these thoughts of self-doubt and questioning yourself and all of these like lack of belief thoughts about yourself, I feel like it's going to be a really, really good time for you to really examine where those thoughts come from and why you have them. As you have those thoughts, ask yourself, be really kind to yourself, be loving to yourself, because the true you doesn't believe any of those things. The true you does not doubt you. The true you does not believe that you wasted your time or set yourself up for disappointment or failure by pursuing your goals and your dreams and your purpose. Your true self would never believe any of those things. So when you have these thoughts of, like, these feelings and thoughts of self-doubt, they're not coming from you. They're coming from your conditioning. They're coming from your environment. They're coming from how you grew up and your experiences. They're not coming from you. And so I think that this is going to be a really powerful time for you, because this is a chance for you to feel these thoughts and have these emotions and ask yourself why they're there and where they came from. And, don't blame where they came from. A lot of us have problems, or like all of us have problems, okay? But a lot of us have them because of how we were raised, or parenting styles, or maybe experiences that we had in school. And I think especially when it comes to our parents and our childhood and how we were raised, I think it's really important to not play the blame game, because there are really bad parents out there, really terrible ones, but for the most part parents really love their children and they really, really want to do the best job with their kids. But our parents, they were also on their own journey, and they're still on their own journey of finding themselves, and they still have the conditioning that they were given when they were children that they're carrying with them into how they raised us when we were kids, that they still need to sort out for themselves. So, you know, like if we start going back to like, well, oh, it's my, I mean, I think it's really important to recognize when, you know, a parent maybe conditioned you in a certain way, or maybe their fears about something ended up spreading to you and now you have the same fears because you observed them with that fear. I think it's really important to like know where things came from because it can alleviate that once we have that awareness of, oh, okay, like I'm afraid of trying new things because, you know, my mom was always afraid of trying new things. And, you know, I got used to being in that environment where apparently trying new things was scary. And that's why I'm scared to do that now. Once you have that realization, you're like, oh, that's where that came from. Like, I don't need to be scared of new things. And then you can easily think about all the times when you did try new things and it went well for you. So that awareness, I think, is very important. Just don't get into the point where it's like, oh, all of this is, you know, my mom's fault or my dad's fault or my grandparents' fault or something like that. Because then that cycle continues because then, you know, they grew up with their conditioning. Then for them, it's like, well, then it's my parents' fault. And then, you know, your grandparents are like, well, then it's my parents' fault. You know, so like that chain never ends. And also I feel like that, like I was saying before, parents are always doing, always doing the best that they can do. And, you know, if you're a parent now or, you know, when we become parents, we're going to be doing the best that we can do as well. But we still have our journey and our conditioning that we will still be working through. And you never know how what you do is going to influence somebody or how they're going to take it and how that's going to affect them. And so, you know, be kind to them, be kind to yourself, be kind to everybody, you know, and I think that will help with the self-reflection and release it at the same time because, you know, once you move from, oh, okay, my parents did it, but then if you know, that can release it. But if you go back to the blame game, then suddenly there's this new anger that's created that creates a new block for you. And it's not necessary. It doesn't really make sense because, again, everybody's on their journey and they did the best that they could. And you have to honor them for that, especially, you know, in most cases. Some parents, like I was saying, you know, can be really bad and really cruel and you know, that's a whole different story, but for the most part, just do this exercise because it'll help you move forward. Don't get stuck in the blame game, which keeps you in the past, is what I'm trying to get at. So I would just have fun with this process. You're going to be in a slump, but really look at it from an analytical observer point of view and just try to understand where these blocks are coming from, where these thoughts and beliefs about yourself are coming from, because they're not coming from the true you. They're coming from your conditioning, like I was saying before. So I think this can be a very, very powerful exercise. I think it can be a very enlightening exercise. I think it can be a really fun exercise. When you put the dots together and have that aha moment, that can just be so transformational. And transformation is fun because this is like a positive, happy, forward-moving transformation. So I would really look at this time as a chance for you to really reflect and release a lot of these doubts that you have about yourself. And that will help with this disparity that you're having, because once you can really address what's going on here and where it comes from, you can let it go, and then you don't have to pretend to believe in yourself. You don't have to pretend that you're not scared of disappointment. You will really feel more excited about your dreams. You'll really have more belief in yourself, and you'll really want to go after more of what you want out of life than you have before, because you're not going to have this weight holding you back. You're not going to have these internal resistances that are kind of holding you back. So I hope you really enjoy this exercise. Like I was saying, you know, there's going to be a slump. It's going to kind of put you in a little bit of a sad, kind of depressed state, but try to be an observer in this, because you have the opportunity to work through a lot of stuff that can skyrocket you to success going forward if you take that observer point of view. So see this as a gift, because I really think that this is a gift for you. And yeah, like, wouldn't it just be awesome to feel excited and truly feel it and not be pushing fear down at the same time? Wouldn't that be so awesome? So you have the chance to make that happen. So I hope this is helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I earned your like and your subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.